This video explanation for the assignments that go with Chapter 38, the Stormy 60s, 1960 to 1968. These will be found in your textbook, page 889 to 915. Images within this presentation are in the public domain, and all of the images, if you can download a digital copy of this assignment, all of the images are interactive and links to provide more information. Please don't hesitate to give me a call and email if you have any questions. But this is Chapter 38, the Stormy 60s. As we get into Chapter 38, Kennedy has been elected, and his Attorney General is Robert Kennedy, his brother, and his Secretary of Defense is Robert McNamara, two very important people within Kennedy's administration. And in the short term that President Kennedy is in office, a lot of things happen. The flare-up begins in Vietnam, and we start to engage in this Vietnam quagmire. So Johnson, President Kennedy's successor, President Johnson, kind of gets us into Vietnam a lot more, but nonetheless, the flexible response on page 892 is something that you need to be familiar with. And then another huge part of Kennedy's administration was dealing with the issues in Cuba, Cuban confrontations, as Fidel Castro leads his rebellion into Cuba. And eventually we have the Bay of Pigs invasion. You can see right here the Bay of Pigs. Be familiar with that. And then also, of course, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the way in which Castro and President Khrushchev from the Soviet Union become very close as the missiles are placed inside of Cuba. And then at the end, or the middle towards the end of the chapter, we're dealing with struggle for civil rights. This kind of begins, but is heightened during Johnson's administration. Some of the civil protests. This is a picture, of course, of the Civil Rights Protest March, in which Martin Luther King gave his famous speech. Of course, then there's bombings of buses and churches, and the civil rights movement really escalates in the latter part of the Kennedy administration and moving into Johnson's administration. And then, of course, we have the tragic killing of Kennedy. This is a picture of the motorcade just before leaving and Kennedy's assassination. This is a picture then of Johnson's being sworn in on Air Force One on the way back to Washington, D.C. And then this is the killing of Kennedy's killer. So be familiar with some of that. The other thing that I'd like for you to watch is this video. This is a video link. If you click on this image, it'll take you to a short 8 or 9 minute video, and it's a pretty good animated recreation of the assassination, and it tries to dispel some of the myths of conspiracies that exist. So that pretty much concludes the questions out of the book. We don't have very many for this chapter, but we do also have a video assignment focusing more on civil rights, and that's on the next page. An additional assignment I have for this chapter is watching the PBS and American Experience series Eyes on the Prize, and this is a condensed version. I've put these clips on YouTube. They're available on YouTube. They're available at these following links. You can either scan with a QR code reader, or you can click on the actual heading, and it should take you directly to YouTube and clips. And these are all about 10 minutes. Well, they vary. This one's 10 minutes. This is 5 minutes. But go through this worksheet One is on the Emmett Till, one is on the bus boycott, and then we also have sit-ins in Little Rock. We also then have this idea of Birmingham, and then a series or a clip on Malcolm X, and of course Martin Luther King is heavily mentioned within these video clips. But it's a great video series, Eyes on the Prize, and it should take you maybe about an hour to go through all of these video clips and answer the questions. So that concludes your assignment video explanations for Chapter 38, and it kind of focuses on Kennedy in the 1960s. Again, a reminder that all these images within this presentation are in the public domain. Please do not hesitate to give me an email or a call if you have any questions. Thank you.